Hey everybody, I am on my first day of my weekend. It's Sunday, I get Sunday, Monday off, and I have had quite a week. I am bundled up in my jacket in the house because it's freezing. We unhooked the heaters in the living room. You can see we have paint tape in the back here, as you know that we are remodeling. And so we're putting new flooring and painting first. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video and let you know a miracle that happened within a really difficult week, and I hope it encourages you. I have a very challenging chef job, and it just takes a lot out of me. But the main thing that takes out of me is the morale at work can be really poor. And I just want to describe that for you, and maybe a lot of you can relate to it. So what happens is, instead of encouraging people and inspiring them to do better by encouraging them and teaching them and training them, it's more of a Gordon Ramsay type approach, swearing at them, slamming things down type of thing. And I'm not the only one that gets it, gets attacked like that, but it has been very difficult. I've been the head chef for 2 days a week. I'm the head chef on my station, and Friday and Saturday, Saturday is generally a less busy day, sort of, but not necessarily. So we had burgers yesterday, and vegan burgers, because I'm on the vegan station, and sweet potato fries and all the toppings and that. And we served 250, maybe more. It was somewhere around 250 people. And also the day before, how many do we serve? Somewhere around there, like, 200 or 300 people, maybe not that many, but anyway, we generally serve about 200 people, and it can go up to as many as 500. So usually between 200 and 300 is the average for one station. And usually I'm running it, and then I have usually a server, but not always. So sometimes I'm the cook and the server, and sometimes I'm the cook, the server, and the salad bar person on the days when I don't have my cook with me. And usually I'm supporting him on the days that he works. So 3 days a week. He does the cooking and he heads the station. And then I'm the salad bar person in charge of that and prepping that. Plus I'm prepping for him. So it's a very physically demanding job, and I get really tired. So I work 1 to 9 in the evening, and so I just get really tired and I need to wind down at night, so I don't usually go to bed right away. So today I'm wore out because we get up early to go to church. But I want to tell you this that happened yesterday. I woke up at 7:30, which is really early for me. And considering that I go to bed at between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, sometimes even 2 o'clock in the morning, it was super early. And I was just like, okay, I can't even, I'd had a really hard day. The chef had kind of reamed me over the coals. Said I was more concerned with my lunch break than I was about getting dinner service on time. And I don't know, I just felt like I'm doing better. My time management needs to be improved, but I'm getting better at it. And I just need help. I need help getting up on the station. I need more than one I think, because my the cook on the other days of the week, I'm his support person. We both go up to the station. We both get things on the station and get it ready. And when I'm by myself, it's harder to do. It's harder to get it up there on time because we have to have dinner service at 4:30. And they want us to have everything up there before 4 o'clock. And it used to be that it was a little bit later than that we could be up there at 4:15. But now they want us to be up there even earlier. At least they want me to be. I think they think that I'm pokey. And, maybe I am a little slower. I am 56, almost 57 years old, and I've never been the fastest person. I've improved on my speed and at work, but I'm very detailed oriented, and that can get me into trouble in the culinary arena. So anyway, but here's what happened. I was so tired. I talked to my husband, and he could hear in my voice how tired I was. And so he prayed for me. We prayed together, and I just prayed for a miracle. I prayed God, because I didn't want to call in sick. If you call in sick, they don't call anybody to replace you. They just make everybody else work that much harder. And I didn't want to do that to my team. I didn't want to do that to everybody, because I've been there. It's really hard when somebody doesn't show up, because you have to run from station to station and make sure that station is still running. Basically, you end up running 2 or 3 stations. You run back and forth, and you just run that much harder and that much faster. And accidents happen. It gets crazy, and it's not safe or anything else, and things get left undone because somebody didn't show up and do their job. And a lot of it is because the morale is so low. I almost didn't show up because chef reamed me over the coals about leaving a bag of sugar on a counter, because he never wanted to see. The rule is you can't have bags on the line because it's a Sodexo rule. Well, I get the rule, but I wanted my sous chef to sweeten the sauce, and he was doing it for me while I was on my lunch, and I didn't want him to not know where the sugar was. So anyway, that was that. And I just, I get being corrected. I understand it. But there's a way to correct people that actually encourages them to do better, instead of slamming them down and just saying, you're crap. Because he basically said, that's like this other community college kitchen, and we could arrange for you to be there instead of here. Oh my gosh. So just, and I've had people just encourage me and tell me that they like working with me because I don't do that to them, and they get yelled at and they get reamed over the coals and stuff by other chefs in the facility, and they don't like it, and it makes them shut down, and that's what it's doing to me. It's making me shut down. Basically, I've decided that I'm not going to get encouragement from my coworkers. I need to encourage myself in the Lord. I need to let Him encourage me, and I need to be encouraged. I need to worship. I'm tearing up, but that's what needs to happen. I need to worship. I need to pray. I need to pray for them. I can't expect them to be Christ-like when they don't have Christ in them. And I need to rise up to the challenge and be Christ-like. My temptation is to get angry and bitter. And I know that isn't right, but I do get frustrated. And people, other coworkers, are seeing the unfairness of it, how they don't send people over to help me. It's almost like either a black ball where they're trying to get rid of me, or they're trying to initiate me and see if I rise to the challenge. Well, I've really tried to rise to the challenge, but it's almost like they don't care. Like, maybe they just don't want me there. And I know who doesn't want me there. The enemy doesn't want me there. But I'm a light in a dark place. And I need to dig in and be the light in that dark place. And then not take it personally if they fire me, not take it personally if they insult me, and pray that they don't fire me so that I can be the light of Christ in that place. Because they need it. They need people to encourage. We've had a lot of trainees. Obviously, we do at the beginning of the year in the fall. We have a lot of trainees that need good training, and they don't get it. And the people that have come over to my station, I train them. I try to train them. And I try to, get them to do the right things under the Sodexo rules, yet not get angry at them and just, I don't want that kind of atmosphere on my station. I don't want people to be obeying out of fear. I want them to obey because they know that it's the best for food handling. They know, it's the best for, especially for food handling, but they know that it's the best for the team, and the thing that happens is people don't tend to work as a team. They tend to work against. It's like everyone for themselves. No, I'm not going to help you because I need to get... Well, part of it is that we're too low staffed, and so everybody feels overworked. And then they start taking it out on their coworkers, which isn't good because we could be there for one another. We could help one another. And things like we don't have enough mops, silly things. We don't have the tools that we need, like peelers and things like that. It's silly. If we had peelers and we knew where they were, if we had, our tools where we need them to be, we have to take up our tools upstairs with us because we can't keep them on our stations. I get that we don't have room for all of our tools, and that we do have to bring some up, and that they have to go back to the dish room downstairs. Anyway, the way that the building is set up is kind of wacky too. It's just not really conducive to... It's a fairly new building too. It's kind of crazy how they set it up, but we have to run up and down the elevator with our stuff. We have to get our tools together and take it up to the station every service, lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever. And we have enough mop buckets, but we don't have enough mops. We don't always have Sani buckets where they need to be, sanitizing solution where it needs to be, so we have to go run and get that. There's a lot of extra foot work that needs to be done. We go to get our pans and they're not there. We don't have enough pans of the size that we need, things like that. So, I hope I'm not going into too much detail that just confuses you, but that's what I'm up against. That's what I struggle with, and maybe some of you all can, relate that to your job, even if it's a desk job or an office job or whatever. The lack of teamwork, the lack of support that you have at work really drains you and exhausts you. So that's where I am. But here's the miracle. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to edit this video so it makes sense. After saying all of that, I got to work yesterday after having that horrible day where I actually cried during dinner service. I turned around to wash my hands and I just started crying. And I turned around, nobody could see me while I was washing my hands, and I turned around out of that little cubicle where the sink is, and my coworker saw me, and "You're crying." And I said, "Yeah, I guess I need a 10-minute break." And so I went and I had a 10-minute, but I couldn't really get away to cry. I couldn't really, there's people everywhere. I went to the bathroom, but it's a public bathroom, so on and so forth. So then later, the front of the house manager, he said, if you need to talk, I can talk to you. We can go in the office and talk. And so I did. I talked to him. And I told him I needed to talk to the executive chef, that I needed to let him know, that I know that there's been tension between us for probably a week, 2 weeks maybe, and that I want to fix it on my end, whatever I need to do. And so I'm gonna do that. I think it'll help when they switch me to days, because that'll just be kind of a new and different situation. My sous chef says that it's going to be more of a supportive role rather than the head chef of the station. I like the challenge of being head chef. I want to come into more of that, as a chef. I want to. I don't want to just prep for somebody else. I want to be able to cook. But whatever happens, I want God to be glorified and in control. So I will do what He shows me to do and humble myself. So, oh gosh, so that's what's going on. But yesterday, okay, back to yesterday. Sorry, I'm everywhere. Yesterday, I was so tired and concerned that I wasn't gonna, that I was gonna be headachy and slow as, molasses. And I got to work and I had energy. And it wasn't because of coffee. I actually made sure that I didn't drink caffeine, because I didn't want to, I wanted to prove that it was God strengthening me, and I didn't want the crash from the caffeine, and I wanted to be able to sleep when I got home. So, because caffeine, even if I drink early in the afternoon, I get there at 1, it can still affect me. So I didn't drink caffeine. And I did. I had energy. I didn't have a headache. I went pretty fast. I went pretty fast, and I had a little bit of help getting stuff onto my station. My sous chef helped me. And like I say, we served close to 300 burgers. And, with all the fixins and sweet potato fries. And I had to run back and forth to another station because they have a fryer and we don't. And they did the deep frying for my fries. They cleaned out their fryer so it didn't have meat residue in it. And were able to do my sweet potato fries in there because it didn't work in the oven. We tried it. And there's a setting on the downstairs one for French fries, but there's not a setting for French fries on the upstairs oven. So we ended up doing it in the fryer. So it was a good meal. They were garlic quinoa garden burgers. And last week we served Beyond Burgers, which are the new, the ones that are like they're pea protein is what it is. And some oils to make it like meat. And anyway, they have texture in there to make it seem like it's meat. It's interesting stuff. Tastes good too. So anyway, but we can't serve those anymore because they have coconut oil in them. And our cafeteria, we can't have any tree nuts. And coconut is actually a tree nut, so we can't have it. Bummer. Love coconut cream, love coconut milk. But we can't do it. Can't do cashew cream. All those yummy things that you can do, like cheeses, vegan cheese type thing, we can't do. Anyway, all these things I want to experiment with and do. Anyway, I am so I've really had a hard season where I felt like I have not been praising God through it. And God is bringing me out of that and saying, Kathy, I need you to praise even when it's tough. So that's what I'm learning to do. And to be a light where I am. So I would ask you to pray for me. Pray for us as we work on our house and get it done. And as we relate to one another and love one another in my home, with my son and my husband. And I do have 2 other daughters. They're grown and out of the house, in their 20s. But anyway, that we, would learn to love one another. I'm learning through this that the criticism that, sometimes I complain too much. I fall into that trap, like at home. I fall into the trap of complaining too much rather than praising, rather than encouraging. At work, I'm an encouragement. But then I get home and I'm like, ugh, why are you loading the dishwasher so that the bowls are flipped upright and the cups are flipped upright? I mean, it's true. The dishwasher won't wash the dishes if they're not in there properly. But there's a way to do it rather than reaming everybody over the coals. And I do it to my husband, not just my son. So I need to learn how to be the same encourager at home as I am at work, and to be patient and kind like the Bible says to be. And I know that that's going to take me walking in the strength of the Lord rather than my own strength.